Hey y'all, I'm Taryn with Sow in the City, and today I'm doing a garden tour for you. This is my first garden tour of the spring 2023 garden season. I'm so excited. Let's get started. So let's start over here. As you can see, there's nothing in here, and that's because I haven't gotten my sweet potato slips yet. Now, I could plant something else in this bed, but I really like growing sweet potatoes, and we grew them here last summer, so I would like to continue growing them, but I have to get my sweet potato slips in. And I just bought some on Etsy. I tried to get some locally, but I couldn't find anyone that had some, and I didn't have time to make my own. So once I get those in, they'll go right there. Let's keep going. So as you can see right here, these are some tomatoes. Now these tomatoes, all of my tomato plants, I believe, were started by myself inside of my house. I started these at the beginning of March, and they're at a great size right now. I think this is the Black from Tula tomato variety. It's like I've never had that before, but it's supposed to be really savory. I think that's what this is, and this is I have some labels. This is a Black Beauty. So both of these are supposed to be very dark in color, like almost like dark purple, and they're supposed to be really big, juicy, and savory. So we'll see, but they're a great size. I don't have any fruit yet, but you know, it takes time. Okay, so come over here. This is really cool, and please excuse the mess. Like I said, you know, I'm still getting the garden ready, so I need to get some things picked up off the ground. But if you look right here, you can literally see that this strawberry plant is growing from the cracks of the bottom of this raised bed. That is insane, right? And we have some flowers here, some baby strawberries here, some baby strawberries. It's amazing. How cool is that? So, you know, hopefully we get some strawberries. Like, I've never been the most successful with strawberries, but this is a volunteer plant, and I'm just gonna let it do what it needs to do. I'm not even like watering it like that, really. You look this way. This is our first really large raised bed, and so I still have some work to do. Like these marigolds, everything in this bed was started from seed. These marigolds were started from inside of my house. And I'm so proud of myself. I grew these flowers from seed. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I still need to put these two. I may not. Yeah, I'll probably put these two like right here or something like that, somewhere on this bed. But this, aside from flowers being in this bed, I have cucumbers in this bed. Okay, I love growing cucumbers. I grew cucumbers for the first time last summer, and I had a great experience with them. So I'm growing them again. So I have 4 different cucumber plants. These 2 right here, this one and this one, these are silver slicer. My dad loved them last year because one, the plant itself is just easier to deal with. It's like silver slicer cucumbers are just they're more resistant to diseases and things like that, so that's awesome. But also they're really cool color. They're white, like a very, or I'd say light green, off-white, light greenish color, and so sweet. They are so sweet. I love them. This variety right here is the Boston pickling cucumber. It's literally what it sounds like, just a small, chubby cucumber that it has spikes on it. You have to be careful with it. People like to make pickles with them. I just put them in sandwiches, but I might make pickles this year. And that small one right there is a new variety. It's called a muncher cucumber. It's really, really small and skinny, and it's supposed to be like, you know, you munch on it. People munch on it in the garden. So I was like, I might as well try and grow that because I've never grown that before. I'm going to show you this area later, but right now we're going to go to this raised bed area. So like I said, I still need to put some of my flowers in the raised beds, so I'm going to do that later. But this was also started from seed. This is a marigold, and these were also started from seed. This is my squash bed. I'm so excited. I love growing squash. I'm not sure if I want to put netting over this, because you know, pests love squash, knock on wood, but it's all right now. But this is the zucchini squash. So I have 2 zucchini squash, one right here, one right here. Last year I grew all yellow squash. Now I'm doing a mix. So 2 zucchini squash, 1 yellow squash, 1 nasturtium, which is basically an edible plant that helps to turn off pests from your plants, especially squash. And then I have this is a butternut squash right here. Right here, that's a butternut squash. And I've never grown butternut squash before, ever. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited. Like, you know, I love to eat butternut squash, and it's very expensive in the store. So if I can grow some, that would be awesome. And then I have some more small nasturtiums right there and right there. And these, it's just good. I like to have flowers mixed in with all of my plants, because they it's called companion planting. When you mix things in, they help to turn pests away from your vegetables like squash and watermelons. Let's come back here. So this is not really, it's not a new area in the garden, but my dad has fixed it up so that it is more useful. I'll say that. So in the past, you have probably seen that we grew or we tried to grow watermelons in this area, but it wasn't very successful. We just, you know, maybe we think it may have just been a lighting issue, but either way, we said we're going to try to do something else in this area. So my dad cleaned up the whole area. He put some mulch down, put some of these barriers around the bed, and we got, I think, 9 tomato plants in this bed, and they look really healthy. Like, I'm very happy with it, and it's beautiful, and hopefully we get lots of tomatoes on them. A few of them are just now starting to get flowers on them, so you know, we still have to be patient in that regard, but I'm really happy with how healthy they look and how big they're getting. I'm really healthy. And these were all started from seed as well. All started from seed inside of my house. So yes. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so these 2 beds right here and right here are the most important beds, okay? They're very important to my dad and I. Why? Because these are watermelon beds, okay? So I mentioned just a few seconds ago that we tried to grow watermelons last year in another area. Weren't quite successful, but this year will be different, okay? Because we're growing them in healthy soil, healthy raised bed soil. So these beds are very healthy because we put good soil in these beds. All of our beds have great soil, but specifically these 2 beds have compost in them. So what happened was my neighbor makes compost, and I think I'm making my own compost too, but my neighbor had compost, and he let me borrow some, so we put them in these 2 beds. We also put some really good raised bed soil, I think from Kellogg Garden. It's in a yellow bag. And then we also put some fertilizer in here and some worm castings in here. And everything's looking pretty good so far. This is a watermelon variety. It's called Moon and Stars. I'll put a picture. It's basically, now we've never had this. It's really pretty, so I'm growing it. It's literally a dark green watermelon with like yellow dots around it. And then I think these are Clemson Sweet watermelons. My dad likes Clemson Sweet yellow, something like that. It's a yellow variety. My dad loves yellow melons, so I went ahead and planted those for him. And then I think these are marigolds. These right here are marigolds. I mentioned before, I like to practice companion planting because it's good to help turn off, the bad pests from your garden and attract the good pests. Okay, now you might see these, like, this really weird big plant, and you're like, well, what is that? Honestly, I'm not sure. Okay, So I mentioned that we use compost in this bed. My neighbor, apparently sometimes when you make compost, you have to wait for the seeds, in which the fruit that you put in the compost has seeds. You have to wait till the seeds deteriorate for you to really use the compost. You don't have to, but it's requested, and that's what happened here. Apparently, whatever seed this came from wasn't completely deteriorated yet, and so when we put it in this bed, it germinated. Now, I have an app that says it's a type of squash. I asked my neighbor, and he said it might be a pumpkin. You can see the look on my face. I don't like pumpkin, okay? So, let me not say that. I've never even tried pumpkin to know if I like it or not, but it's not my favorite type of squash. So, I don't know. I may keep it, or I may just have my dad pull it out and donate it to my church, or the church that I work at, because they have their own community garden. But we can come over here, and this is another watermelon bed. I'm so happy with this. All of the seeds have germinated, which is just so great. So all but one of these were started from seed. So this is the Crimson Sweet, a regular like pink Crimson Sweet melon. This is a Jubilee melon. Okay, those two, I think that's another Crimson Sweet, and that's another Jubilee. So I did 2 of each. So I'm really happy about that. And of course, as I've said many times before, you have to get your flowers in these beds to help deter bad pests and attract good pests. So I put some more marigolds that I also started from seed. And then of course, oh, can't forget that one. I'm not sure what variety that one is, but my dad got that one from a nursery, so that was not started from seed. The other bed had some volunteer seeds from the compost. Well, this one has some volunteer seeds as well. Volunteer plants, rather. So, this is similar to the other bed. We think it's a pumpkin, based off what my neighbor told me. But, that one looks a little different. And I used my app, and it said that might be a winter squash or something like that. So, that looks interesting. I might keep that one. This one has to go, because it's in the way. It's really in the way. Okay? So, that's the raised bed section. Let's come over here. So, I'm still in the progress of getting this area together, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview of it. So, my dad made this last summer with, as you can see, cinder blocks. I was gifted these really pretty plants last year from this website that sells native plants for whichever area that you live in. I can't remember the name of these, but they are supposed to attract hummingbirds. So I don't even know if it's hummingbird season, but I'm like, hopefully it will attract some hummingbirds, but I haven't seen any yet. And I still have some little like weeds in this bed. I tried to get most of them out, but I did plant some seeds like last weekend. I don't think those germinated yet, or if they did, they're super small. But I planted some cherry tomato seeds in here. So that's going to take a while to grow. If you look over here, you can see that I planted some okra like 2 weeks ago. And I planted way too much. So I'm going to have to thin these out. But they all germinated. So that's awesome. We're going to get some okra this year. And the rest of that is just weeds that I have to thin out. So, and this right here is my pear tree. If I'm being honest, it is not doing a single thing right now. And it's healthy. It looks healthy. It's great. It's gotten bigger. It just isn't producing anything right now. Maybe I need to fertilize it more often. Maybe I just need to be patient because it's still the beginning of spring, so we have time. But that is the pear tree. This is my grow bag section. And in this grow bag section, you can see I'm growing mostly peppers. All of these, everything over here are started from seed. These are all different variety of sweet peppers or bell peppers. I'm growing red, yellow, and orange. So they're all mixed in here, the different colors. They're still relatively small, so as the temperatures get warmer and we get good rain, they'll continue to grow. So that's what I really want to get lots of peppers this season. And then you can see this, I believe, is a volunteer sunflower. I think that's what it is. It could be a big weed, but I use my plant identification app and it said a sunflower, and I think that's what it is. Now I did put some black-eyed pea seeds in this one and another grow bag, but they did not germinate at all. So that tells me that the seeds that I have were very poor quality. So I'm gonna have to get some more black-eyed pea seedlings. But the other seedlings that I planted did great, and I think I put them right here. So these are different variety of green beans. I think I did Blue Lake green beans and tender green beans. So they're looking really good right here and right here. They're looking really good. And right here and right here. This is also a green bean, but the leaves on it, I don't know if the leaves got eaten down or what, but I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that one. You know, these pests will get to your stuff before you do. So that's the pepper and green bean section. And you can come over here. This is my dad and I's favorite section right now because it's actually bearing fruit for us. So these were started from seed, but not by myself. A good friend of ours, she started these from seed in her house, and she gifted these to us. I'm not sure the variety of these, but I can tell by the fruit that they look like they're going to be beefsteak, some kind of beefsteak. It I do think she actually told me, actually she doesn't know the name of them, but she said she thinks they're going to be purple in color, like dark purple. So yep. And all of these have like at least one tomato on them. Well, except for this plant. Every plant except for this one in front of me has tomatoes on them. So yeah, and they all look so healthy, and I'm just so happy about it. And you might be asking, why are these little things on the tomatoes? That's to keep the hornworms off of the plant, or off of the fruit rather. So my dad and I, last year, we saw this ugly looking, we thought it was a caterpillar or something at first, and it was actually a hornworm. They are so scary looking, and they would eat all of your tomatoes to the bone if you let them. So we put those around them so that they don't get to the tomato. And you can find them on Amazon. It's like, they're called tomato fruit bags or something like that on Amazon. So you can just find them. I'll put a link to it. So this is our fruit tree section. Oh my goodness, my dad and I have had a time with our fruit trees, okay? Well, basically this past winter was rough, very rough. And when I say rough, I mean very cold. And we weren't sure, even though these fruit trees were in that greenhouse behind me that my dad built, it got so cold one weekend in particular that we weren't sure how these were going to do. And unfortunately, like 3 of my fruit trees did die. Granted, they were not native fruit trees. They were non-native citrus and tropical fruit trees. So I really can't be too mad. All of the native fruit trees survived. So this is a plum tree. No flowers on it yet. But it's still looking, you know, healthy, and it's alive. But no flowers yet. This is a peach tree. Now, you know, I just don't know about this tree. I mean, it is alive, but there's like only one fruit on it. Like, I think just that one. Like, it's so freaking small. So I don't know. I don't know if it needs to be closer to the other peach tree, or I need to fertilize it more. I'm just not sure, but that's the first peach tree, so oh well. And then this right here is our citrus trees. Now I'm not sure which one is which, but one of these is a lemon and one of these is like a lemon lime. I'm not sure which is which, but they're citrus. And my dad had to cut them back because they also, like, a part of the tree was dying and a part of it was alive, so he cut back the dead part and now it's growing back. So that's my dead hibiscus tree. I mean, I don't know. It's a hibiscus tree. I don't know. Okay. So, the last tree. My favorite tree. Peach tree. And you can see the peaches. I'm going to water this today. I haven't watered it today. So, but it's a peach tree. Oh my gosh. We have, how many peaches on here? I don't know. At least 10. Maybe a dozen. I'm so happy about it. I do wish the other tree had some peaches, but at least this one has peaches. And I'm so happy about it. My dad might have to put some string or something, because sometimes it does lean over. Like right now it's leaning to the side. So I might have to have him put some string. We've done it before. And lean it this way. But other than that, it's looking really good. I have to make sure that I keep it well watered, water it thoroughly and consistently, and fertilize it. But it's looking good. Okay, so now we're gonna go to this side of the flower bed garden, and you can see here that now I actually have my flowers, and we still have to put them in the ground. But I have 3 different kinds of flowers right here. I have marigold, echinacea or cone flowers, and I have milkweed. Those 3 flowers are important because they attract pollinators, especially butterflies. I really want to do better with attracting butterflies, like monarch butterflies and even bees, because I need them to grow food. If I don't have that, I get no food. So that's important. So, and it's just pretty. It's pretty to look at these things. So they will be along here once you get them in the ground. Okay? And I also want to try to put some sunflowers somewhere, maybe over here or maybe somewhere else in the garden. I do want to have, like, you know, a few sunflowers, because I love to look at sunflowers. They're really pretty to me. So I got to figure out where to put them. Okay, y'all, that's it. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this garden tour. This is the first garden tour of the spring/summer season. We have a lot more to show you, but for right now, that's it. But before I go, don't forget, no matter how stressful your day is, no matter what you're going through, remember, just keep sowing. Bye.